Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Balancing Act. We're so glad you're here. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Diaverti.
Today, we're focusing our entire show on rare diseases. It's a sad fact that there are 7,000 rare diseases, and 80% of them are caused by faulty genes.
That's right. Rare is everywhere. 1 in 10 people worldwide suffer from rare and genetic conditions. That adds up to, listen to this, Julie, 30 million people in the U.S. and 300 million people globally.
Wow. We will learn more, and we'll meet the woman behind the Global Genes Project. Also, we're going to hear from caregivers.
And go behind the mystery of the non-24 disorder. In fact, this show will have a video description for the blind on the second audio program, SAP channel, as non-24 is related to both blindness and our internal body clocks.
So much to discuss. Stay with us. The Balancing Act starts right now.
Well, it's called non-24-hour disorder, or non-24, a chronic circadian rhythm disorder affecting nearly 70% of those living with total blindness. And yet, many of those who experience the impact of non-24 don't even know what it is they have. People with non-24 experience just a wide range of symptoms, including sleep challenges, such as nights of sleeplessness, and then days when they're fighting to stay awake that can greatly impact their lives. Today, in our ongoing series, Behind the Mystery, Rare and Genetic Diseases, we'll learn more. And joining us this morning is Dr. Helene Emsalen, a board-certified neurologist with the Center for Sleep and Wake Disorders based in Chevy Chase, Maryland. And later on, we'll hear the personal story of someone impacted by non-24. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've never heard of this before this segment today. Give us an overview of non-24.
Non-24 is a disorder that affects primarily individuals who are blind with no light perception. So light every morning resets our own internal body clock. Our planet operates on 24 hours, and we operate on a little more than 24 hours, sometimes as much as 24.5 hours. And each morning when we wake up, we get a light cue to our brain that says, push it back a little bit, otherwise we slip forward. So people who have non-24 end up having the timing of their master body clock shift later and later through the 24-hour clock. And they end up with times where their body is saying it's time to go to sleep at 8 o'clock in the morning when they're supposed to be waking up for their workday, and great challenges both in terms of sleeping and staying awake at the right time.
You know, I can imagine that people with non-24 could probably often be misdiagnosed with having a sleep disorder or maybe even a mood disorder, right?
Exactly. If you're having trouble falling asleep at the right time, I think most doctors are going to think that you have insomnia, and most people are going to think that they have insomnia. Unfortunately, if you don't recognize this as a problem with the underlying master clock, treatments for insomnia simply don't work.
How would someone even recognize that they have non-24?
First, if you are not sighted, if you're blind, and particularly if you don't have any light perception, it's something to think about if you have experienced episodes of difficulty sleeping and equally important episodes of difficulty staying awake at the right time. Since the problem will cycle and there'll be periods of time where someone with non-24 is actually aligned to the day-night cycle, and then times when they shift out of alignment with the day-night cycle. So if you're having chronic problems, sometimes falling asleep, sometimes staying awake, always feeling tired because you never get the right amount of rest at the right time, it is certainly well worth thinking about.
Well, I want you to stay with us because when we come back, we'll be joined by a very special person sharing his own non-24-hour disorder story. So stay right where you are. Don't go away. Welcome back to our special Behind the Mystery, Rare and Genetic Diseases. We've been speaking with Dr. Helene Insalim, a sleep expert based in Chevy Chase, Maryland. We are now joined by Anthony Cisneros, who is living and coping with Non-24. Welcome, and thanks so much for coming by today.
Thank you for having me.
So Anthony, tell us about your blindness and how Non-24 impacts your daily life.
I became totally blind as a result of a horrible accident. I had grown up with an eye condition that impaired some of my vision. But in September of 2005, I was involved in the accident. I was hit by an oncoming commuter train. It took several years before the damage set in. 5 years later, the retina detached, and that's when I lost all vision, light perception, everything. And not long after I went blind, I found myself waking up early in the morning. I had always been a morning person, but now I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning in the backyard pulling weeds when everyone else was still sleeping. And as the days dragged on, my energies were depleted, and I oftentimes felt like a balloon that was just rapidly losing air. And no matter what I was doing, working on a client, waiting for the bus, playing with my kids, I would just fall asleep like that, as if a switch was flipped. So it was very frustrating.
How do you then know that it's something more serious, that it is in fact Non-24?
I first found out about Non-24 by a counselor that I was working with. Being visually impaired herself, she had a wealth of resources and she recognized the symptoms. And so she emailed me some literature on the subject, and everything that I learned, the information, it just all seemed to fit.
It was clicking.
Yes, it was describing me and everything that I was going through. So that was very validating. You know, for the first time, perhaps for the first time since I lost my sight, I felt this sense of hope.
What should someone do if they suspect or think they have this condition?
First and foremost, go to their healthcare provider, talk to them about it, but it may be extremely important to get online, go to resources, and go to your doctor with information about what this might be. Even among the sleep community, understanding of Non-24 is not great, and there isn't a huge wealth of information, and your average primary care doc may not know about it. So in order to get you to the right help, go armed with information.
How has your life changed since the discovery, since you now have a name to what it is you were experiencing?
Yes, it was very validating to put a name to this, and it's better now. You know, before I was cranky, tired all the time, falling asleep on clients, my kids, my wife. But now we have a way. We have a name, and so there's a way to cope with it.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 and 1 on the way.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Just a beautiful man. Thank you, doctor, so much for coming by and sharing this story with us. And hopefully we've been able to enlighten our audience out there to Non-24 as well. So thanks to you both.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more about non-24-hour disorder, please visit the website. It's non-24.com. That's non-24.com. And visit us as well for continuing information on this topic at our website. It's thebalancingact.com. Oh, and as always, you are invited to share with us any of your thoughts or any of your insights. We always love hearing from you at Facebook at The Balancing Act Fans.
Welcome to the fourth and final segment of our 4-part series dedicated to the American caregiver. As we celebrate Rare Disease Day, that's why we're wearing these ribbons, we're joined one more time by a man whose personal and professional focus is improving the lives of caregivers and those they care for. Dr. John Segal, CEO of Discount Medical Supplies. And John, it is so great to have you back.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, you've become an influential voice in the caregiver and medically related fields. I really want to know how that began for you.
It was really a life story. When I was young, my father was diagnosed with cancer when I was 10. And he was living in our house for 3 years while going through all the treatments, and eventually passed away when we were 13. But it really gave me a new insight on taking care of family members at a very young age. And then after that, my mother became ill, and we had to help her out. And then right now, I'm actually a caregiver for my 102-year-old grandfather who doesn't even want to go into a nursing home. He wants to stay in an assisted living home.
So this just propelled your career in a way. I mean, your life work when you were 10 years old, it kind of started there.
It did, and really just giving back and helping people that don't feel like they have any place to go.
Amazing. You know, we typically think of caregiving as help for the older or chronically ill, and you know, older mothers and fathers and grandparents, but that's not always the case, right?
No, and as a father of 3 children, I totally understand it's very difficult. And to have a special needs child, there's so many aspects that are involved there. But the most important thing is giving that child respect and love so they can grow up and make a difference in the world.
You know, being a mom or dad for a mentally challenged or special needs child is so difficult. What's one piece of advice you could give to those parents?
I think they have to take care of themselves. They're so focused on their child and doing the best for their child, they forget about themselves.
Right.
And they wonder, why did this happen to me? As opposed to thinking, you know, there's a reason for this, and we can take my child and do something very special because they were here for a reason.
I love your company because your company, your website, you help charities that are benefiting special needs children, but also other charities as well. Tell me about that.
Yes, we really wanted to give back, and that's something I've wanted to do since I was a child. So we developed a module, so when you check out on our website, a portion of every sale goes to a charity that you decide on. So you can choose through a list of different charities, whether it's for special needs, whether it's for cancer or diabetes. There's many different charities that you can put money towards.
That's just amazing. And you're really impacting lives. That's what really impresses me about you and your company. And just if there's one thought you could leave us with, what would it be?
You have to wake up every day and say that you're actually making a difference, and wake up with a positive attitude as opposed to, why am I going through this?
So a positive attitude really trumps many things in life, in your opinion.
Absolutely, and laughter as well. Laughter is needed when you're a caregiver.
I just think that that's so important because caregivers, you know, a friend of mine has an organization, Heal the Healers, and we need to take care of those people that are caring for others. And You're doing that.
Thank you.
Well, it's been such a pleasure, a great 4-part series. I hope our fans got to see it all. And I just want to thank you again for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
And for continuing information on caregiving, visit us at thebalancingAct.com and get a little bit social. We like to say that by logging on to Facebook.com/The Balancing Act Fans. And I want you to share with us your own caregiving thoughts and your opinions.
Did you know that over 30 million people are living with rare diseases, and many of them are children? And don't let the term rare fool you. There are over 7,000 diseases that qualify as rare. That's a lot. Here to help spread the word about rare diseases, finding a diagnosis, and suggestions on where to go for help are 2 very special ladies, Nicole Boyce and Alana Jacqueline from Global Genes. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good. Nice to see you
Hi,
again.
Alana.
Hi.
Nice seeing you. Nicole, let me start with you. Talk to me about the importance of Global Genes.
So we are a global advocacy organization working to help eliminate the challenges of rare disease for those families and patients that are suffering. 350 million people worldwide affected. That's more than all cancers and AIDS combined. It's a massive community, and our goals are to not only raise awareness, but also help equip patients to become advocates or better activists for their disease by supplying resources, helping make critical connections to tools that they need to help them on their journey.
And let me tell you, you have somebody here very special helping you out here. Alana, how old are you?
I am 24.
Well, I want everybody out there to know that, you know, Alana is the reason for our Behind the Mystery series, and we thank you so much for that, for bringing that recognition to us and everything you're doing along the way. Tell me about what happened with you, your disease, and the diagnosis behind it.
Well, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 19, even though I was born with a disease called primary immune deficiency disease, which is kind of like the boy in the bubble disease, but a little bit tamer and a little more easier to manage. My mom is actually a producer here at the Balancing Act, and she's been with me for this whole journey trying to find a diagnosis, and it's been a very long journey.
But she's been there right behind you, right beside you, and I know how proud she is of you, as we are too. Nicole, from what I'm hearing, you're talking about a young lady who knows something's wrong. Mom is trying to do everything, frustrating, I can only imagine.
It's very common in the rare disease community. On average, it takes up to 8 years to find a diagnosis. In that time, you've had 3 misdiagnoses. You've seen 10 different specialists, and imagine the psychosocial impact, the economic impact, not only for the family, but also for the system.
You can relate to this.
I mean, it does have a huge emotional impact on you. A lot of patients are accused of having things, of being like a hypochondriac or, you know, having Munchausen's by proxy. And really, they're just trying to find out what's going on with them and make it better.
They're just searching for answers, if you will. Now, I know, Nicole, there have been a lot of advances in genome mapping. Is that technology helping with the rare diseases?
Exome sequencing, genetic sequencing is becoming more affordable. And it's being used as a tool to help diagnose patients. We've begun a program called the Undiagnosed Patient Project, and it's a pilot program where we're raising money specifically to help diagnose patients.
Excellent. Alana, I know February 28th is World Rare Disease Day. Tell me what that day means for you and what viewers can do to help.
It's a big day for me and for Global Genes because it's a day that the rare disease community gets to connect and find support with each other. And one of the ways that they can show support is by wearing our signature denim ribbon. And also there are many schools and workplaces that hold fundraisers where people can pay a couple of dollars to wear jeans that day to represent rare disease.
So important for people to feel that they're not alone. Alana, I want to end with you because you're just an inspiration and you are really the reason behind this. What would you tell someone out there that may be diagnosed today or tomorrow with a rare disease? What would be your words for them?
There really is a community out there of support, whether you're undiagnosed, recently diagnosed, or have been a long-time patient with a rare disease. You can go on our website, globalgenes.org, and you can share patient stories and read other patient stories of, you know, people who have diseases just like you and find out what new treatments are coming.
Alana, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
God bless you and good luck in the wedding.
Thanks.
And to you.
So wonderful to see you.
Thanks for coming back, and come back whenever you want, okay? Good luck to both of you. Such great information, and if you want to learn more, just log on to our website, thebalancingact.com, for more information about rare diseases. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, so check us out. Hope you learned more about rare diseases today on our special edition of The Balancing Act. Visit our website, thebalancingact.com, for additional information.
We're also, as you know, on Facebook and Twitter, and we'd like to communicate with you, so go there. We will see you next time, and remember to find your balance, right?
Absolutely. Always. Take care.
Today's AccuWeather segment is brought to you by State Farm for auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state.